Quality never costs as much as it saves. In fact, quality pays off even more as years go by. And we built our modular homes to last for many years. Constructed of superior materials in a computer-automated factory, our homes are better built than a site-built home. Franklin Homes' quality speaks for itself, so we invite you to show this video to your customers so they can see the value that goes into our quad homes.
Hello, my name is Peter James. I'm Vice President of Production here at Franklin Homes. The video that you're about to see is an installation video for our model 9001, or what we refer to as our quad. The information pertaining to this video will help you as far as removal of plastic on the roof, setup of the hinge roof sections, and completion of the dormer areas. We hope this information is helpful to you and your setup crew as you install this home.
The quad sections come from the factory with a letter designation on them to avoid confusion. However, it's still a good idea to familiarize yourself with the sections' relationship to each other.
Please keep in mind that this home does have 4 sections, and also please keep in mind that the weather conditions may play a part in your installation and completion of the set. What we're about to do is set on the small section. We use 2 roof jacks to raise the hinge section of the roof on the small section. So what we'll do is we'll place both of these jacks in just a moment. We want to make sure that the 2 things about placing your jacks is you want to make sure that you've got a good footing on the base of the jack, whether it's a jack that fits on the ground, about make sure it's secured at the ground level, and or if it's one like we use, make sure that it's secured to the floor well so that the jack won't try and kick out on you when you're raising the roof section up. Also, make sure that the top portion of the jack is securely in place on the ridge member of the roof, so that when the raising activity goes on, everything is properly secured, and so that there's no slip or mishap on getting that roof in position. One thing that might help on some time savings when you're raising these roofs is when the sections are put together, basically similar where they're going to be set permanently. What you can do is when you get your roof jacks placed in on one half, get the roof raised up with the sections being, the proximity of them being fairly close together, you can just swing the jacks around and put them on the other half without having to carry them to another location to raise that roof portion. A little time saving on that.
Everybody up two. Everybody up two. Angle, get through one. Right. Everybody up two. Everybody up two.
Please note here that the brackets that have to be removed, or the banding that has to be removed for the support wall to be lowered into place. Also, want to mention the wall boards that the setup crew is walking on. They're installed for your convenience so that you don't have to walk on top of the rafters. Once the roof has been raised into place and the support wall has been lowered, and you can see here that the support wall will not go past the knee wall section, and what we're about to do is raise the roof up a little bit more so that that wall will sit on top of the on top of the knee wall or the support wall, which it will finally rest. On securing that support wall, what we'll do is we'll line one end up, leave the roof up just a little bit from the two plates coming together. Secure off on one end and just ease the entire roof section down as you go to make sure all your plates are flush together. Once the roof has been raised into position, the support wall then needs to be folded out and placed on the knee wall or support wall that wall rests on. A couple things to note. We've changed this application on the support wall. The support wall is now going to be in at least 4 sections. We're doing this for 2 reasons. One is for safety of the setup crew. It gives a cribbing effect. Secondly, it makes the support wall easier to install on the knee wall. Bring it in about 6 feet.
Well, here's where it went last time. Alright, I'm going to stand here and hold this.
What we're going to do is we're going to raise this first section. We'll raise the first fold section, and then the entire roof will come up from there together. On the C section of this house, when we raise the first hinge section into place, where the hinge nails are, the roof decking on the main roof extends out over the hinge nails, and we do that on purpose. The reason we do that is so when you raise the smaller hinge section into place, you can nail from the backside into the top core of the truss, and it'll hold that whole assembly in place. And then while you're raising the rest of the roof section up. What we're about to do is raise the first roof section of the home. We've got the small folding section in place. As you can see, sticking out past the mating wall. We fold that out first, and then we use that also to lift the rest of the roof section. If the support wall is folded out and the knee wall hits, or the support wall hits the knee wall, then the roof section should be raised up a few more inches so that the support wall can be put into place. Also, one other note, when screwing off the support wall to the knee wall, you can use nails or screws, but make sure that the nail is placed in an area where it will hit the stud underneath the support plate. You can see Tony screwing the screws in at an angle so that it will hit the stud underneath the support wall. All of our hinge roof systems, there's a metal band that straps from the bottom section of the truss over the support wall, and that band has to be either nailed or screwed per our installation instructions that'll come with the house. And the way this thing installs, we install the bottom section at the plant with just the staples, but the installer has this option of screws or nails or staples, depending on what he has available. The way that installs is it folds over the support wall, and then will need to be nailed or screwed through that band, and that helps with the uplift loadings of the roof to keep everything in place. On our hinge roof systems that have more than one hinge, we install these little support brackets that are fastened at one end. Point to that end there, son. One's screwed here. Fold that back and forth one time. Now they line it into place. What we use those for is an alignment tool, and as well also a support tool to keep the second hinge section of any of the roofs that we do, whether it's the roof on this quad unit or if it's used on our 32 wide 5 and 12 roof pitches as well. There's a small second hinge section on those, and then on those trusses we have this same application, so that when that hinge section is raised into place, it's used as an alignment and a support device, so that everything will stay into place while the sections are being married together and secured off for final installation. What we do is we pre-cut the support studs that go in the gable sections of all of our hinge roofs. They'll be either placed in the roof as that one is Tony just installed, or they'll be in with the setup kit that'll be inside the house. Either way, the studs are pre-cut with an angle. Hold that one up there, Tony, before you put it down here. As you can see, the studs are angle cut on the bottom and on the top, so that they'll match this section in its entirety, and basically already put into place so that the angles allow you to slide those studs into place, and each one has its own location that it fits because it's pre-cut. Therefore, there's no measuring when you install those studs. What we're about to do is raise the D section of the house. There's a couple of notes that we need to make known here. On the ridge rail of this roof, we've got some additional lifting members that we put on at the plant that are used to lift this roof into place. Once the roof is lifted into place, those members need to be removed before the houses are permanently set together. On the C and D section, there needs to be noted that the C section and the D section, the marriage line and the roof peak are offset. We have to do that for shipping purposes in order for us to install the bay and the dormer area on the C section there at the plant. That's the reason it's imperative that the shipping material be taken off the D roof before the two are put together, or the roofs will never match up when we try to get them placed permanently. What we're doing here is on the bay on the rear of this home. The rafters over that bay are also hinged. What we've done is we've raised the rafters, put those into place. There's some the support studs that go, and it's pre-cut. They're putting in the center of that section now, which will put a sheet that creates OSB, and then we'll do the same above the rafters and the little gable peak when they get that front complete. To complete the dormer over the bay on the C section of the home, all of the parts that are needed for that completion are inside the dormer on top of the roof. One thing to note, when the plastic is removed over this dormer, there'll be a sheet of OSB which will be laid flat. This material needs to be removed and discarded. It has no purpose in setting up the dormer or for completion of the dormer. It's simply applied for weatherproofing until the dormer can be installed. Once the OSB has been removed from the top of the dormer, you'll find the parts for the dormer completion inside the bay. There should be trusses, overhang box, and decking inside the bay. Refer to your installation instructions for the parts and how those should be applied.
Back home, flying crossing. Slide that one back over and mess it up.
following pictures you're about to see are how to install the transition truss section from the A, B sections to the C and D sections. The roof transition should be installed as follows. There'll be a ridge beam that will connect from the end of the C and D section. It needs to be leveled and installed onto the B section. The beam will also need to be marked 24-inch on center. The roof trusses or the transition trusses are made to be installed at 24 inches on center. The roof trusses or the transition trusses are also made with a pocket at the top of the truss so that they can be securely fastened to the beam of that transition section. Once these roof trusses or transition trusses have been firmly secured to the ridge beam, simply level the truss straight up and down, secure it to the roof at the bottom, making sure to hit from the cord of the truss into the truss itself underneath the decking. Once those are installed, then the OSB roof decking can be installed and the shingles can be finished or completed at that point, taking into account the valleys that must be can either be cut valleys or shingled valleys, depending on your setup crew and how they like to perform that operation.
If we had only 3 words to describe our quad homes, they would be quality, styling, and innovation. The quality and styling attract buyers and satisfy them for years to come. The innovation contributes to the quad's permanence and makes the assembly much easier for you and your setup crew. Thanks for your purchase of a Franklin Homes Quad.
I hope that this installation video has been helpful to you and your setup crew for installation of the Model 9001, or what we refer to as our quad. During installation, if you have any questions, please refer back to this video for helpful hints on dormer completion, hinged roof installation, and some of the parts that are unique to this home. During installation, please keep in mind, as you and your setup crews obviously know, weather conditions can play a real part in completion of a home like this. Being this home has 4 sections and a transition roof section, just a helpful note, please keep that in mind. During the completion, if you have any questions, once again, please refer back to this video, or if you run into any problems, give us a call here at Franklin. Give us our service department a call at 1-800-332-4511.